Everyone, and welcome to another edition of what is happening at the Florida Christian Writers Conference in 2023. Well, at least that's what I'm calling it today. I am Eva Marie Everson, the director of the Florida Christian Writers Conference, and sitting next to me, either to my right or to my left, I'm never ever sure, although she's to my left right now, I don't know, is Taryn Souders. And Taryn, tell them what you do at the conference.
I hang around either Eva's left or right side, right? It's what I do.
That's what she does. It's all she does. She just hangs
That's all
around.
I do. I'm the co-director, and so I help out Eva, and honestly, whatever needs doing, and
Oh gracious, she's a gem. Let me tell you, a gem.
a gem. Yeah. So I'm here to. We're going to focus on some classes today and just tell you more about what's going on with the conference and hopefully get you all excited. And if you haven't registered yet, that you'll register really within the next 11 days. 11 days.
For those early bird specials.
To take advantage of the early bird specials, for sure. You can still register after that, but you're going to pay more money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to happen. Well, yeah. So it's because with the early bird, you get $100 off of your registration, and you get a 20% discount in the bookstore. Now, that's not 20% off of one item. That's 20% off of your entire sales. So you can go in, do some really good shopping. And since it's in, late October, it's pretty close to Christmas. Keep that in mind. And there's all kinds of things there. I mean, we've got all kinds of products, not just books. We call it the bookstore, but there's really, we should call it the product store, I think, because there's books and all sorts of wonderful writerly type products, and so you get your shopping done, and it's 20% off of the entire purchase. And then also you get the free downloads, and that's the downloads of all of our recordable workshops. Some workshops, due to intellectual property, are not recordable, or they don't record well. For example, I would say the book proposal studio probably does not record well because there's a lot of space in between where people are working and they're talking about their work and things like that. That's intellectual property. So we probably will not. Well, I know we're not, because
we wouldn't. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. You're right. You have to pay extra for that. So no, we don't record the workshops that you have to pay extra for.
Right. Anyway. Anything that's heavy on visuals usually doesn't record well because it doesn't make sense, because you don't get to see what everyone's seeing. You're just hearing it. So that's usually the ones that don't. When we say
don't record so well. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to talk today about the after hours classes. And I used to feel that a lot of writers conferences or writers conference directors put like the least favorite classes in the after hours. We don't do that. This is like, you can sleep when you get home time when you come to the Florida Christian Writers Conference. So we want you to get the biggest bang for your buck. I mean, what we know is this: you are spending hard-earned money to come to this conference. Some of you are using your tax refunds or your birthday money. You're saying to your family and friends, just give me money so I can go to the Florida Christian Writers Conference, or maybe it's your Mother's Day gift, or this is going to be your Christmas gift for this year. And so we want to make sure you get everything and then some. Because of that, we don't offer any classes. Every single one of our classes, every one of our workshops, whether they're continuing or 3 hours or 1 hour workshops, we think that we are bringing in the best teachers, and we are providing you with some of the top workshops that you're going to need in your writing career and in your journey. So on Wednesday, after the ice cream social and the panels that we're going to have with editors and agents to talk about what's going on in the industry, we are going to have some after hours classes. Taryn, can you tell us about those?
I can. So at the moment, we have 3 wonderful workshops for you to choose from. And the first one is taught by Cindy Sproles, and it's called What Does That Mean? And particularly if you are new to writing, this is something you're just kind of beginning to dip your toe into, I strongly encourage you to check out this class, because Cindy is going to go over all of the lingo that you are going to hear tossed around that entire conference, from pitches to WPs, I mean, everything. You're like, wait, what are you saying? because it does almost sound like a secret code that people speak sometimes. So it's called What Does That Mean? And that is one of the after hours workshops that we offer Wednesday night. And we get so many people saying this class was
that was worth it. Yeah. I think Cindy has taught this class every year since we took over the Florida conference, which was in 2013 was our first year. So we purchased the Florida Christian Writers Conference in the latter part of 2012, and in 2013 we took over, and she's been teaching this class ever since, and it's so wildly popular that we asked her to teach it again and again, because when people are first coming into publishing, they just don't know what some of these words mean. It's like, I remember I was a former nurse, and I remember when I went into nursing school and some of the code words that we had, and in fact, I still use those to this day. Remember one time, Taryn, I wrote something with a symbol, and you're like, I don't know what this means.
I'm like, what? It's like hieroglyphic. Yes. Yes.
It's a stick with a line over it. And anybody in the medical field knows exactly what that means. So we kind of just get used to speaking in these codes, and we're leaving some of our newcomers in the dust, and we don't mean to do that. We just get used to it. And so this is a great way for you to just go ahead and immerse yourself in our language.
You can join the secret club.
That's right. We have secret codes and everything. I wonder if, you know what, Cindy really should offer like decoder rings, I think.
She should. Our secret decoder ring. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So what about the other two classes? What's the next one?
The next one is by Annette Marie Griffin, and this one is all on writing articles that will inspire readers, thrill editors, and honor God. And so it talks about, taking the fact that we all, particularly right now, have very short attention spans. Your readers might have short attention spans. You might have a great attention span. I have no idea.
I have none.
I know that mine is.
I'm already bored.
And so this talks about, like, how do you, when you're writing an article, how do you grab people's attention? How do you keep their attention? What do editors want to see? And how can you still honor God with your words? And Annette Marie Griffin has been with us before. We're bringing her back. She's probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. And she's a great one to learn from.
Well, if there's one thing Annette Marie Griffin knows about, it's article writing. She is, the queen. She is like you just type in her name into a search engine, and you're going to find the countless number of articles that she has written. And even, I'm sure she's going to talk about how to take one thought idea and turn it into several articles. And so you can kind of, spread the love, so to speak.
That is
what about the next one? What about the last one that we have on Wednesday night?
The last one we have is one I'm hoping to attend myself. And this one is called Writing Funny, and it's taught by Zena Dello. And
it's got to be good.
It's going to be good because Zena herself is quite hysterical. She's a fantastic teacher. She's full of energy. And she's going to talk about how do you create humor and jokes and comedy in your work, because it's not like you can just, tell a dad joke and think that it's going to be hysterical in your writing.
Sometimes it falls flat. Yeah,
it can. And you want to make sure that you've got that setup, and you've got the punchline, and you've got the payoff. And she's going to talk about all of that stuff. So definitely check out Zena's. If you like to write humor, you like to read humor, you want to explore that option, Zena is one to check out.
Well, and here's the thing, even if you don't write humor, you always are going to need to insert some level of humor into your work. It really, because if you write suspense, let's say, periodically, your reader just needs that little bit of a break, something that makes them go, okay, all right, I'm okay now, and we do look for those things as readers. We certainly look for them as writers. So, and who better to teach it than Zena? We had Zena in the past. Of course, she's so beloved. Everyone's like, when is Zena coming back? When is Zena coming back? And of course, what we had was that catastrophe that we call the pandemic. So for several years, Zena was not able to join us, but she gets to come back this year. So very excited. So that's Wednesday night. Now, we may be adding more to Wednesday night. That's just where we are right now. We're kind of waiting on a couple of people to send us their stuff. But then there's Thursday night after hours.
There is. Yes. Okay. So on Thursday, at this point, we have 4 classes that we're offering. The first one is by Jessie Floria, or is it Floria, Eva?
Floria, I think. I don't know.
Jessie, you'll have to let us know when you get here. I mean, we've only had him for the past decade as well.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he's going to be teaching begin and end with a bang. And this is great for if you're writing fiction or nonfiction, because you need to do that no matter what it is
No
you're
matter
writing.
what. Yeah.
And this is something that he wants y'all to know. If you're going to attend his class, he is encouraging you to bring a first page from whatever your work in progress is. It's going to be read anonymously. So don't worry about, I don't know, if you're worried that people might not like your writing.
No, what if they know it's me?
Right. Don't worry about that. It will be anonymous. But because that's the case, make sure that, of course, it's double spaced, Times New Roman, all the stuff that you would if you're going to submit to an editor, because Jessie is an editor.
That's right.
Keep that in mind. So this is, again, nonfiction and fiction writers.
You know, I know somebody who's going to be so happy to hear this, because every year she says, when can we do the first pages again? When can we do the first pages again? So yay, we're doing the first pages again.
Yeah. Our next class, and I love the title for this. I think it's such a great title. It's called Armchair Archeology, and it is going to be taught by Donna Muma. And she's going to focus on the research process that you need to go through when you're doing historical research for your piece. Now, I know that Donna writes fiction, but I'm sure these tips are going to work for nonfiction.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, you know, like, what kind of details am I looking for? Where do I find this information? How do I use it in my story? So anyone who writes historical fiction, historical romance, or even nonfiction, comes to Donna's class.
How to dig in and get those facts. I know I had an email exchange with Donna this morning, and I was asking her, how's your book coming along for Barber? Because I know it's set in like 1955. And she was telling me some of the things that she's had to research and look into, you know, making sure that this is authentic. So Donna is great for teaching armchair archaeology.
Absolutely.
What's next?
Next is Catherine Hutchinson Hayes, and she's going to be teaching an author's guide to organically building a sustainable platform. Again, this is for nonfiction and fiction writers. And platform, you've probably heard, is kind of everything when you are trying to get started as a writer. And I love the fact that she says sustainable platform, because while you need it to get started, you have to sustain it throughout your writing career. So she's going to
if you're going to do it right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing about Catherine, is she's going to teach us how to do it right.
Yes. And she's going to talk about branding and how to do it effectively and other types of tools. So this is an excellent class to attend. Like Eva said, we are not putting bad classes here. These are classes that are chock full of information.
Yes.
And then our last class for Thursday night is taught by Britt Mooney, and it's YouTube 101. And this is taking your platform to the next level. And so if you've thought of doing a YouTube channel, this is
like this one?
Kind of like this one. That's right. This is something you might want to attend. And he is going to talk about, you know, how do you get seen? How do you get heard? How do you build a fan base? All of that stuff.
And I've been with Britt at other conferences where he talks about things like this, and he's so knowledgeable. So if that is something that you want to get into, he's the man. He's the one who understands the ins and outs, the ups and downs, and all of that of getting started with a YouTube channel. Now we have after hours on Wednesday night, we have after hours on Thursday night, and we have after hours on Friday night.
That is correct. So we've got 4 options for you to choose from on Friday night. And the first one is taught by literary agent Steve Hudson. He's coming in from California.
Got 2 people coming in from Cali.
I know. Tired when they get here. This one is called Let's Read That Publishing Contract. And if you've ever wondered, do I need an agent? How is an agent helpful? This is probably a great class to go to, because agents are very well versed in legalese and what does your contract say? What does all of that stuff that we might consider mumbo jumbo actually mean? How is an agent going to fight for you? So this is an excellent class. Definitely check it out.
And what it all means, because I'm telling you, there are words and phrases within a contract that You know, again, we talked about just like the medical terminology, and you talk about the publishing terminology. Well, there are legal terminologies as well. And
oh yeah, and financial is and I mean I remember seeing the term, I think it was called basket accounting or something like that, and my agent's like, we're gonna talk about this and blah blah blah, and
right.
so I don't even know.
And I'm picturing like an Easter egg hunt, you know.
Yeah, so
like,
definitely go, especially if you're considering signing with an agent.
Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why I am so adamant about having an agent, because I don't know how to read a contract. I don't want to know how to read a contract, you know, and there are all kinds of issues like with like if you like writing fiction or even nonfiction, I suppose, and it's going to go to movie rights or ebook rights and audio rights and all of those things. Those are the things that you need to have an agent or at least some understanding of what this is talking about. So, and I think it's good, even if you have an agent, that you have an understanding of what it's talking about, because you want to make sure that you are talking on the same level as your agent and going over these things with him or her as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I expect that's going to be a pretty packed class.
Oh, yeah.
For you fiction and nonfiction writers, we have Penny Musco teaching writing for the secular market. And this one speaks to me because that's what I do. I write for the secular market, and she's going to be offering advice like, how do you kind of put light and salt into your writing so that you're not hitting anyone over the head with the Romans road, but yet you are still like, you're able to weave.
You're speaking truth.
That's, you're speaking truth. You're speaking positivity. You're speaking Christ-like elements into your characters and such. So, and I'm meeting more and more Christians who are writing for the general market. So check out this class. She uses an acronym called HELP, and she's going to go over what each one of those mean. So go and check out Penny's class for sure.
Okay. And is there another one?
We do, for you poetry writers. Moore is teaching this one, and I know there's a lot of poetry writers out there. And this is called Sharing the Gospel Through Poetry. And so they're going to talk about all different types of poetry, inspiration, how poetry can bridge just faith with your reader and help to build them and encourage them. So if poetry really speaks to your heart, it's something you like writing, it's something that you find fulfilling, please go to Carissa's class.
Okay. In fact, we've got more than one poetry class this year. And one of the reasons that we do is, for those of you who don't know, Word Weavers International, of course, owns Florida Christian Writers Conference. And this year we kind of put it out there because we had several people who said, I write poetry. Do you have just poetry focused online groups? And we thought, well, let's see if we would have an interest. We were blown away by the interest of people who wanted to know more about, like, how do I join this poetry group? And so we ended up forming 2 groups. I think we could have probably very easily formed 3, but we kept it at 2 groups. And poetry, and especially spoken word poetry, has become a huge thing in this day and time. A couple of years ago, America's Got Talent was won by a young man whose talent was spoken word poetry. And so this is becoming bigger and bigger. And of course, one of the things that we get a lot is there somewhere to publish my poetry? Laura Zill is going to come in, and she's one of the ones who will be teaching, but she has a publication called Time Sing, and this is all poetry. So she's going to be coming in. So you poets, I just want you to know, we got you back this year.
That's right. Yeah. And just, as a reminder, Time Sing is those of you who write music, write lyrics. This is probably an excellent class to go to as well.
Absolutely.
So all of you musicians, check out Carissa's class. Our last class, last one is taught by Susan Neal, and it's optimizing email marketing from opt-in gifts to email sequencing, which if I just told you that and now you have no idea what I said.
Back to that.
So check out this class for sure. This talks about how do you get email subscribers, because that's a great way to build your platform as well, to get readers, to build a fan base. It talks about all the different elements that kind of coincide with those email newsletters, and and gifts that you can send just through email. So check this place out, check this class out. The place is room 238 if you're curious.
Yeah, the place, that's the place.
And find how do you gain subscribers?
Yes, and I'm telling you, newsletters are the key. And I didn't think that until I let mine go. And then, then I reinstated my newsletter, and wow, what a difference that made for me. So, and who better to teach that class than Susan Neal, who is just a powerhouse within our industry. So she knows what she's talking about. Yeah.
We've all gotten those emails from people that we delete. And then we've gotten those emails from people where we're like, I want to know what's going on. What do they have to do?
Yeah.
And we click on those. And once you've opened that email, then it's like, oh, they have a new book coming out. I want to purchase that book. I want to, support them in this way. So that's why this class is so helpful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It is. Okay. So those are our 3 after hours nights.
Correct.
And all of the workshops that we have so far. Like I said, we're waiting on a couple of people right now. We have, is it 3 or 4 classes that you have to register for in order to be a part of? I want to talk about those because I don't want there to be any confusion when it comes time to, when you arrive and you go, well, I thought I had registered for that class. And in fact, you had not registered for that class, or you didn't realize you had to pre-register for the class. So let's make sure we're clear on that.
Yeah, absolutely. The very first one that you have to register for, and there is an additional cost. Some of these you just register and there's no cost, but you still have to register. Some of them you register for and there is a cost. The first one that you register for and there is a cost is the book proposal studio.
Yes.
And
so
we talked about that one in the last video. Eva, you want to fill in anything?
Well, yeah. So I just want people to understand that for those of you who are coming to the nonfiction intensive and you registered for that and the book proposal studio, I don't want you to think, oh no, now I've got to make a choice. You can actually just stay with the nonfiction intensive all day on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, there is a 3-hour workshop that is part of, the overall, but you don't have to go to it. So don't panic. Now, if you decide, I'm just going to go to that anyway, that's fine. You can do that. But Linda Glaze is going to teach that portion of it on Wednesday afternoon. And basically, she's going to give a 3-hour overview of what is expected in fiction book proposals and nonfiction book proposals, children's book proposals, that kind of thing. So she's going to give the general overview, which is great if you're taking the entire course, but it's not necessary. Now, if you're taking the entire course, then that is a continuing class that will begin on Thursday afternoon. Thursday afternoon, Edie Melson is going to take over, and Edie is going to then dig into your individual book proposals, what you need in your book proposal. So again, this class is not going to be recorded because there's going to be a lot of intellectual property that's talked about, and she's going to help you so that when you walk out, you have a book proposal. So again, Wednesday afternoon is the overview, but Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning is the dig in and get it done part of the book proposal studio. And that is an extra charge.
And I'll tell you, one of the reasons we charge for that is if you've ever tried to write a proposal, it can be harder than writing an actual manuscript, you want to rip your hair out sometimes, especially with the synopsis and all of these things. And if you were to hire someone to do a proposal for you, it's hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Yeah. So I know people who charge thousands to do it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't blame them.
No, I don't either.
It's difficult. So $60, you are definitely going to be getting, it's not, if someone's hungry, you can give them a fish or you can teach them how to fish, that whole thing. We're teaching you, or I should say Edie is teaching you how to do book proposals. Right. So in the future, you will always have that knowledge.
There you go. Okay. So what about the next one that you have to pre-register for? And it is also an ongoing class. And that would be me, Suze, because I think I just dumped you.
Well, I was going to mention real quick, you have to pre-register and there's an additional cost to the 1,000 Books workshop.
Oh, good. Let's talk about that one because that is also on Wednesday afternoon.
Yes. Yeah. So that one is taught by Susan Neal. who is doing the email after hours class that we just touched on.
Just talked about.
Yes, and this is all on marketing because she's a marketing guru. So this is an excellent class to go to, especially if you have a book that is about to come out. It's going to talk about all sorts of things. She covers like 7 or 8 different topics. So this is from 3:30 to 5 Wednesday afternoon. It is a one and done workshop, and the cost for this is $50, and it will not be recorded.
Not recorded. And if you signed up for the nonfiction intensive and the 1,000 books, you will have to make a choice come later on that afternoon. Up until that point, you're in the nonfiction intensive. But then after that, you will, since you signed up for Susan's class, you're going to want to just slip away and go into, So if you brought, if you're with someone and you want to say, hey, we're both in this nonfiction intensive, but you didn't sign up for the 1,000 books. So I'll go take notes for 1,000 books and you take notes for the nonfiction intensive. You are certainly welcome to do that.
And then our last class that day that you need to sign up for, but this one you do not have to pay for. Oh, actually, no. Cancel that. You don't have to sign up and you don't have to pay. It's
so we're not even going to talk about it.
Go to it. Okay. So the one you were talking about, is Misu Andrews' class, and do we still have one slot available?
I think we have one slot available. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can get on the wait list, and I'm going to highly suggest that, because as someone who teaches a class at Blue Ridge every year that you have to register for, it never fails that at least a couple of people have to drop out at the last minute. So make sure that even though we say, okay, that class is full, get on the wait list if this is what you want to do.
Right. And this one, there's not an extra fee. You don't have to pay to take this class. It's one of the continuing classes that we offer. However, it is limited to 12 participants. So you have
10 or 12. Yeah.
It says 12 on the
website. It is. Okay. It is 12. It is 12. You're right. Okay. I was thinking of something else. Yeah.
So you have to sign up in advance because we forward all that information to Misu so that she has it. Please note, you need to bring your laptop with you to this class. And the first 1,500 words of your WIP, your work in progress, and a 1-page single-spaced synopsis.
Yeah.
And in case you're not aware, a synopsis includes the ending of your book.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people think, oh, I can't tell the ending because then I'm giving it away. No. You want to give the beginning, the middle, and the end to an editor, because what they are looking to see is whether or not you know how to tell a story from start to finish.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're not giving anything away. And we all know it might change just slightly, but what Misa's going to help you do, and she is, a best-selling author, not a fiction author. I just got through reading her in Feast or Famine, which was like the story of Joseph and Joseph's wife and the whole Potiphar thing and all of that. It was so good. Oh, this woman knows how to write a book. But she's going to help you to determine whether or not you're leaving anything, like any stone not unturned. You want every stone turned over. No stone left unturned. Is that the way it goes? I think that's the way it goes.
Yes, no stone left unturned. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So then I think there's one more that you have to register for, but again, you don't have to pay for it.
Well, there's actually 2.
Oh, there's 2 more. What do I know?
But you tell me, is the critique class all filled up?
Oh, that's right. The critique class. Yes. And no, it is not, although it is nearly full. So definitely you want to jump on that too.
Yes. And that's where you get to bring your current work in progress and you sit in a critique group. They do using the Word Weaver method and you get your manuscript critique. Now, not the whole thing. It's the first.
Like 25 or 5,000 or something like that.
It's a chunk. It's on the website.
And they work hard. They really, and everybody comes out like, oh my gosh, but like, this is the best thing ever. And some people, as soon as 1 year's conference is done, they're already signing up for the class next year. It's like, I want in on that. This is worth the cost 100% down the line. And, Shelley Arnold and Jan Powell will work you silly, but your work will be the best it can be when it's done.
And that's free, but you just have to register because, again, it's limited because, as you know, with Word Weavers, we limit that to like 6 people, but we have, or 5.
They have 2 groups of 5. Yeah.
2 groups of 5 because you have the instructors. Yes, limited to 10 people total. And keep in mind, once you get your piece critiqued, you are not excused from the group. Like you signed up for that. So practicing giving critiques is just as important as learning how to receive one. So stick
Well, because you learn something. You learn from every single critique. It might not be critique on your piece, but you just learn something. I mean, I know even when I'm reading a book, sometimes because now as a novelist, you go, oh, I see what she's doing here. You start to look for those little hints and red herrings and things like that. So you go, oh, I see what he's doing, or I see what she's doing. But then like there's something that is spurred then in your own work. You go, wait a minute. That was ingenious, and now you want to incorporate that as a writer. So being there for once you're there, you're there, don't just get up and leave. That's not fair to everybody else.
No, not at all. Then the last one that you need to pre-register for, but it's free, is taught by Katie Kaufman. And this is Canva for writers. So if you've ever worked on Canva, you know that the options are endless. Those of you who aren't sure what Canva is, it is a graphics design website, and it's free. But there's also you could get the free version and the paid version. Obviously, the paid version has more bells and whistles. But this teaches you how can you use this to advertise, to market yourself, to just get your name out there and all sorts of things like that. So this is going to be a super fun class, but because it is very hands-on and Katie wants to be able to spend time with people helping to build whatever design they're working on, it is limited. And I'm trying to think how many people, I'm not seeing how many people we've limited to.
Well, we'll have to get that and make sure we put it at the website. So I'll make a note of that. And that is a 3-hour class, right?
It's a 3-hour class on Saturday. It's one of our 3-hour ones. You need to bring your laptop with you, and you have to have a Canva account. It's free. You just go and load it on your computer.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. It's totally free. And then start playing around with it. You'll have a blast. I promise you. And you can use Katie. If you will email Katie, she will actually give you a referral link. And I think there's some extra goodies that go with that. So and her email is adventurewriter, all one word, @hotmail.com. And all of this is on the website. But if this is a class that you're interested in, email her, tell her, hey, I'd like in on your class. And then can I have that link?
Yeah, there you go. And those are our, let's see, how do I say this? Those are our, our pre-registration classes. So we have talked about that. We've talked about after hours. We've talked about classes that are running at the same time, and how do you handle that? And that's the conclusion of everything we have to talk about today. Thank goodness. Aren't you glad? We hope that these are informative for you. Again, I say this all the time. You don't have to watch us. Just put us on and take a shower, drive to work, put your makeup on, ladies, or your aftershave on, guys, shave, whatever it is you do.
That's right. So, go for a walk in the neighborhood.
I know I listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm getting ready in the morning. I'm putting on my makeup, I'm drying my hair, whatever, and I'm listening to podcasts. So that's what we hope you will do, and that this is answering some of your questions. So until next time, we say goodbye. We'll see you in October.